Hi viewers, and welcome to another episode of Wealth Wednesday. We are so happy to have you back. And today we want to talk about something that is at the back of the minds of everyone. We all want to understand what is this economy and why is it bad. So stay tuned to learn more about the state of the economy for the year 2023. All right, so for a while now, we have been seeing the bond market is it's looking very attractive from a common man perspective. It's looking very attractive. I mean, you're seeing 13%, 14%. Would you say it's a good place to put your money right now? What does that 13%, 14% mean? Should we run there?
Right. So I'd say 13-14% is attractive.
Yeah.
Remember, most of the time, if you look at the inflation rate in Kenya, if you average it over long periods of time, it's really around 9-10%.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you go back all the way to close to independence times,
Yeah.
our inflation rate is usually runs around 9-10%. So
Yeah.
yes, 14 looks attractive. But remember, bonds have two other risks. That's what I'm saying. It depends on your circumstance. When
Yes.
you buy bonds, most bonds last for more than a year. So when you're looking at the 14% you're looking at 10-year bonds.
Yes.
So are you willing to hold on to the bond for 10 years? If you have to sell in between, you may get back more or less than your principal, depending on what interest rates are prevailing at that time. So yes, it's attractive, but you need to make sure it fits into your personal circumstances.
Yes.
In that, A, you don't need the money very quickly. B, if you need the money quickly, if you want to get out, if you had a hit on your capital, then you would not feel pain. Yes.
So you've said you might get back more or less.
Yes.
If you sell it in future.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Right. So, as you know, bonds are a promise to pay.
Yeah.
So the government, let's take a 10-year bond and let's say it earns 14%. So the government has said, we're issuing this bond today, and for the next 10 years, we will pay you a certain interest, 14% every 6 months. So the way it works out, it's 14% divided by 2. So they'll pay you roughly 7%
Yeah.
of whatever principal you put in
Every 6
every
months.
6 months. Now, today interest rates are 14 for 10 years. If next year, interest rates, same time next year, interest rates for a 10-year bond are 12.
Yeah.
You see, what the government promised to pay you does not change.
Yes.
What you put in, let's say you put in the minimum that they say for bonds, you can put in 100,000, but you can go all the way. You can even put in 100 million.
Yeah.
So let's say you put in even 100,000, 14%. Interest rates next year at this time are 12% for a 10 year.
12%.
What government pays you does not change. It's still 14% over 100,000. They still pay you 14,000 a year.
Yeah.
But the market is saying this bond should pay you 12,000
It should pay you 12%
over 100,000.
because that's the prevailing rate at that
Yes.
time.
So what will change is the value of that bond. So it was 100,000. It will go up maybe to 110, such that the 14,000 you're being paid becomes 12%. Now, that's one side. Assuming interest rates
Go down.
they go down.
Yeah.
Assuming they went up. If they went up and the market said 10-year, next year this time should be 15%.
Yeah.
What the government pays you does not change. 14% of 100,000, 14K. What will happen is that the value of the bond will now change from 100,000 to 90-something thousand. Let's just say I'm not good at calculating without my calculator.
Yeah.
So let's just say, assume you still have the same bond,
Yeah.
put in 100,000 shillings, government's paying you 14% for the next 10 years. It's issued today.
Yeah.
So next year, this time, the market wakes up and market says, you know what, a 10-year bond should pay you 15%. What the government pays you, the 14% of your 100,000,
Remains
the
static.
14,000 shillings, fixed, cast
Yeah.
in stone. But if you try to sell that bond, people will tell you the value is not 100,000.
No.
Let's take a value that makes the 14,000 that you're paid become 15.
15%.
So you see, the 100,000 would go down and it would become maybe 95 or something, or 96.
So you'll sell it for less.
You'll sell it for less. So
Yeah.
that's the risk we talk about. And sometimes you hear most people talking about the market.
Yeah.
They keep on telling you when interest rates go up, the value of the bonds goes down, and vice versa. When interest rates go down, the value of the bonds goes up.
Yeah.
So that's why I was saying, if you're buying a bond, you need to be cognizant of that. That when you get out, then there's a chance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've talked about risk appetite.
Yes.
You've talked about circumstances.
Right.
So could you give us just a few pointers what we can do to cushion ourselves this time so that we don't feel the pinch so much? Or are we too late in cushioning ourselves? Are we in it? There's no cushioning.
No,
you just ride it out.
It's never too late. It's never too late.
It's never too late.
It's never too late. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as you're in good health,
Yes.
that is like 70% of your problems solved. I think that's what COVID taught us.
Yeah.
That once you're in good health, 70% of your problems are solved. Now,
Yes.
let's talk about the 30%. So the first thing you need to do is, one, be able to have some cash you can get quickly.
Yeah.
So people talk of an emergency fund and all that. Not necessarily emergency, but be able to get some cash you can get to quickly. And this cash can be savings, and you can also have a line of credit, whether you need to save up in a money market fund, in a SACCO. Because remember, what hurts most people is that having that sudden emergency. It is not the amount, it's having the sudden emergency, having that. So that's what I would say is the first thing. Then the second thing, it's always good to arm yourself with knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Knowledge will always open new doors and new ways of looking at things. So just watching a YouTube clip like this one.
Like this one.
Yes, helps. All right?
Yeah, where more than one guest has spoken about having an emergency fund. More than one. Yes. So, of course, our viewers by now should be knowing this is the golden rule.
Yes. Yeah, emergency fund,
yes,
or where you can borrow quickly.
Yes.
Okay? So, for most Kenyans and for most people, they have a SACCO.
Yeah.
They have a money market fund, or you can have a SACCO, a money market fund, or if you're in really good terms with your bank, they can give you a line. But I'd say the first two, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I would do, the first thing. And then the second thing, arm yourself with knowledge.
Yeah.
Always just try to find out what is going on. Try to understand the world around you.
Understand your environment. What's going on.
Exactly. I mean, we are very lucky. We have the internet nowadays, but it seems like human nature is trumping the internet. So you have access to all the information in the world, but we'll go in and look at just one narrow thing. What was the score last night on the game?
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So we need also to change a bit of that. So arm ourselves with knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the third thing?
And the third thing, more of the 1 and 2 again.
More
Repeat.
of 1 and 2. Just hit the repeats.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So when
Repeat
you finish
1,
1, 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, you've told us that there's a chance that things will go back to normal.
Yes.
But will normal be going back to the thing that you're buying at 150 now that used to be 100? Is normal going back to 100, or is normal remaining at 150?
All right. So I'd say normal is going back to a situation whereby prices are not rising that significantly, number one. Number two, incomes are also rising.
Yeah.
Remember, there are two things that can happen. 150, what is 150 can go back to 130.
Yeah.
Or your income can go up.
Yeah.
Or both can happen.
Yes.
All right? So more normal is getting, number one, prices not rising at the same at the same rate they were rising before.
Yeah.
More normalized, slower rates, because prices rise over time.
Yeah.
The second thing about going to be more normal is us having, as a country, as a people, more avenues for making income and the economy growing, meaning more money in people's pocket.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the normal I see us going towards.
All right. I mean, that's fair enough.
Yeah, that's my expectation.
That's your take.
That's my take over the next 3 years.
All right. So for the final question of today,
Yes.
I just wanted to ask you to advise the person who's listening today, the person who's watching, what investment vehicle could they hope on to for better returns, especially for 2023?
Right. That's a tough question. It's a bit of forecasting, but I'd say first,
That's why you're here.
Yeah.
The research guy, want to milk everything we can from you.
But you have to charge. I'll send you an invoice.
Thanks. On behalf of everyone, I'll take it.
So,
Yeah.
so the first thing you do is take your what we call fixed income. So
Yeah.
if you look at your government securities, your bank deposits, your money market funds, which invest in the first two, which invest in bank deposits and government securities. That's the first place I'd say you go into. Because
so either you go into bonds as an individual if you understand how to do it,
yes,
or go into collective investment schemes
Yes.
that put their money into those bonds.
yes,
That's one.
because that would give you flexibility over the two. Because see, if you went into a bank deposit,
Yeah.
you have to fix your money for a particular period of time. If you pull out your money earlier,
Yeah.
then you don't get all the interest.
Yes.
You get penalized.
Yes.
If you go into bonds, they are good, but you need to have that waiting period and time. If you went into a collective investment scheme like a money market, then you'd get best of both worlds.
Yes.
They'd invest in that underlying,
Instrument.
you'd get a good rate,
Yeah.
and you can pull out your money whenever you want, even if it's after a day, and you'll earn interest for that day.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's your take.
That's my take for the year. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Malecho, for
Yes.
giving us this time and for the invaluable advice, one.
Yes.
And two, for at least giving us a view of what the economy looks like. You know, sometimes it's so difficult to understand what's going on around you.
Yes.
And it takes an expert to come and, you know, bring it down to a level where we understand, a level where we can take it in. All right, so there you have it. Another thing that we have been told today is things will become better. They may not go back to where they were, but they will become better. Thank you so much for joining us. Like, share, subscribe, and remember to engage with us on all our social media channels.